Another great Arsenio Hall clip, this time on his interview show, where he's talking to Harold Ramis, parentheses, as if I need to write it down, mood slime clip. And one of my favorite sound quotes in here is Arsenio admitting that he played Winston on the real Ghostbusters. Enjoy.
The Arsenio Hall Show is brought to you by Host's Great Nut Cereal, the one and only. And by Coors Light. There's no slowing down with a silver bullet, the best light beer for a good long time.
Tune in tomorrow when my guests will be Natalie Cole, Jack Wagner, and comedian George Lopez. Should be fun. My first guest was slimed in Ghostbusters 1 or Ghostbusters, and now he's back as the co-star and co-writer of Ghostbusters 2. I think Sandy has a clip. How about it, Sandy, darling?
Peter, this is an incredible breakthrough. I mean, what a discovery, a psychoreactive substance. Whatever this stuff is, it responds to human emotional states.
Mood slime. Oh, baby. You mean this stuff actually feeds on bad vibes?
Like a cop in a donut factory.
We've been running tests to see if we can get an equally strong positive reaction.
What kind of test?
Well, we sing to it, and we talk to it, and say supportive, nurturing things to it.
You're not sleeping with it, are you, Ray? Oh, you. That's always the quiet ones. You hound.
Please welcome Harold Ramis. Movie's doing well.
Movie's doing great.
Now, did you expect it to be this kind of hit?
We're so arrogant. I think we did, yeah. Well, we prayed, you know. The first one, it surprised us. We thought the first one would really be a smash, and when it turned out to be the hit it was, we were happy, and then we had this terror of doing one that would even come close.
Yeah. You wanted to make some changes on this, and I heard you wanted to take Slimer out?
Well, it's funny. Slimer got to be a star on a cartoon show, which I know you worked on. Yeah. So you worked with Slimer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Frank Welker did the voice of Slimer for us in the cartoon. Yeah.
Well, he got...
I was the black guy.
Right. I think we got jealous of Slimer because he was such a star with little kids. So.
Yeah.
But we thought, I don't know, it was tricky to work him in the film, but we decided ultimately he belonged in there.
How did you first come up with the character of Egon? Was that based on anybody?
You know, I was looking at a magazine. I didn't have a character, but I decided that my character could be a new wave Mr. Spock. That's how I described him in the script. Mm-hmm. And I saw a picture of a guy who was a theoretical, an architectural futurist, just a complete brain. Saw his picture on the cover of a magazine. His hair stood up about 3 feet. Wire-rimmed glasses, an old three-piece suit from the 40s, and I said, this is the guy.
Yeah. Egon. You've been involved either as a director, star of, or writer of many hit comedies. What makes a good hit comedy?
Well, you ought to know.
Yeah, co-star with Eddie, but...
Yeah, me and Bill Murray, you know?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out exactly what... Because sometimes you have a hit and you don't really know, like Stripes. What made Stripes? I mean, to this day, I got friends that die for that movie, you know?
Yeah, I think there are all kinds of comedies. Some are thoughtful and intellectual, some are romantic, some are broad and physical. We try to do it all. We try to do comedy that's usually thought of as dumb and broad, but in the most intelligent way we can. So I think that way we attract younger people who like fast, broad comedy. We attract older people who like good, witty one-liners and jokes. Mm-hmm. And with some deeply buried theme somewhere. We try to keep the morality straight, you know.
Yeah. Were you the class clown when you were a kid?
No, someone asked me that. I said I used to write for the class clown. I was always too scared to stand up and do all the idiotic things that other kids would do, but if I had a good idea, I'd whisper to the guy who was dumb enough to get up and say it. I'd say, you know, wouldn't it be funny if you stood up and did this? And he would do it, and he'd get in trouble.
Yeah, but you get the writer's credit.
Yeah, right.
In a situation like Ghostbusters, you write a lot of the stuff we see Bill Murray do, right?
Yeah, some of it.
Yeah. Oh, does he improv a lot?
You can't control him at all, yeah. Well, first of all, he comes to the set, and usually, you know, you think of an actor, he studies his script, he prepares, he makes notes in the margin, he works on his character. Bill gets to the set in the morning, says, what are we doing? You know?
Yeah.
So you show him the pages, he looks at it like he's never seen it before in his life. He says, this won't work. You know, and then we start from there. It's like every day is a new ballgame.
You know, I wrote maybe once or twice as far as writers' jobs, and barring the stuff I wrote in Coming to America. I always hated to see other people get the laughs that I wrote, you know, when you're just on the writing staff. Does that ever bother you? Do you ever say, like, oh, I wrote that, no one knows it?
Yeah, because then, like, I've written for some real funny people, and Chevy Chase and Bill and Rodney Dangerfield, and when you write a good line for those guys, yeah, it hurts. You know, they get the big laugh, and you think, hey, I thought of it. Mm-hmm. And when I write it in my own head, I am Bill, or I am Rodney, or I'm Chevy. You know, I think, and when I write for them to sell the stuff to them, I actually do them. Like, I imitate Chevy when I'm talking to Chevy, so he can see how he would play it, you know. And the same with Rodney. So but then they, of course, they get the money and the fame out of it. But I get that. But it's fun to be in someone else's head when you're writing for them.
So for what you do, it's real important to know the people. I mean, you couldn't just write a movie and then take it to a studio and say, here, this is for somebody. Maybe Dennis Hopper, maybe Bruce Dern, I don't know. You know?
Yeah, you can, but the first thing the studio wants to know is who's going to play it, because they need, as you know, they need to put someone's name out on the marquee. So they want to know, you know, is it Tom Hanks, is it Michael Keaton, is it Chevy, Bill, whoever, you know.
Yeah. You're at the stage now where I'm sure people recognize you a lot and know who you are when they see you. You ever get mixed up for anybody else or anything? I mean...
my worst nightmare came true once. There was a party for the 84 Olympics, and it was full of celebrities. They took us in buses to the opening ceremony, and we went to the Beverly Hills Country Club, Bel Air Country Club, and Gene Kelly was there, and Cary Grant, and Prince Philip of England, and Marvin Hamlish.
No.
Yeah. And someone, a woman comes up to me and says, I love your work. I said, oh, thank you so much. She said, I think you're just the greatest. I said, well, that's really nice. She said, your music is just sensational. You know? And I don't think she heard me play the guitar in college. So I said, who do you think I am? And she said, aren't you Marvin Hamlish? And I looked across the room, and there was Marvin Hamlish, and we were dressed identically. We both had the perfect nerd suit, you know. We had gray slacks and a blue blazer, you know. And so that was my worst.
That's why, because the reason I asked you that question is because sometimes, you know, at the stages that we're at, you know, and at Charlton Heston, people, it's like, I knew you. And somebody did that to me earlier. It's like, I know you from somewhere, you know. But they never said Marvin Hamlish to me.
No one can.
Otherwise, I'd burn my face, you know, and the suit and everything.
I have a test. People ask you for your autograph who don't even know your name, or you know. So if they can't tell me my name, I don't give them an autograph.
Yeah, they kind of know you from somewhere, and it's like, just sign this. It's interesting. How about Ghostbusters 3? Will we see one?
Oh, gee, it took 4 years to get everybody together on this one. Maybe in 5 years there'd be another one. But I think there's so many things everyone in the group wants to do. Ivan Reitman is a busy director. He had Twins out just before Ghostbusters, and everyone in the group can pretty much do what they want, and the temptation to go back and do a sequel is not that great, especially after having done this one now. You know?
Yeah. Check him out. Ghostbusters 2, Harold Ramis. Thanks for stopping by.